The protesters also called for equality and freedom. They're also demanding the prosecution of those who opened fire on demonstrators. The protesters also called for the release of thousands of political prisoners. They also showed solidarity with the people of Bahrain. Tensions are high in Saudi Arabia after the Saudi forces killed another protester last week. The government gave no word on the latest casualty, but said that several of its soldiers have been injured in clashes with demonstrators. Demonstrators have been rallying almost every day since November after Saudi troops killed several of them. Meanwhile, the crackdown on anti-regime protesters continues in the Persian Gulf Arab state of Bahrain. An 11-year-old boy has been killed after inhaling toxic tear gas that was fired by Bahraini forces. In the meantime, anti-regime protests rage on despite a Saudi-backed crackdown in Bahrain. Regime forces attacked protesters in several villages across the tiny Persian Gulf kingdom. Large numbers of Bahraini protesters have been arrested and tortured in prison since the uprising began in mid-February. The harsh crackdown has also left scores of people dead since the uprising began in mid-February. Staying with Bahrain, the country's top cleric has slammed regime forces for assaulting women. Sheikh Issa Qassim has slammed Manaba's suppression of anti-regime protesters. He has also emphasized that there is no solution on the horizon to the situation in Bahrain. Sheikh Qassim also said that the regime suffocates any gathering against the Saudi-backed Al-Khalifa dynasty. Sheikh Issa Qassim, a highly respected cleric in Bahrain, is one of the main critics of what he calls the regime's no-tolerance policy towards protesters. In Yemen, anti-regime protesters have taken to the streets across the country after Friday prayers. The protesters are demanding prosecution of embattled ruler Ali Abdullah Saleh. Protesters took to the streets in the capital Sana'a and several other cities. Protesters want Saleh and all those who carried out his orders to be prosecuted. They blame him for the killing of hundreds of demonstrators since the revolution began last year. In November, the embattled ruler signed a Persian Gulf-backed power transfer deal in Saudi Arabia. That deal granted him total immunity from prosecution. And looking at some of the other headlines.